We often hear discussions about work-life balance, but why do we compile everything outside of work into that one category called life? Isn't it more complex than that? Today we're gonna talk about 10 different areas of our lives that we have to address if we want to have a balanced life. If you are new here, hi, my name is Marta and welcome to Imperfect Life Balance. On my channel we talk about finding life balance and fulfillment without feeling the mom guilt. I would love for you to consider subscribing if this content resonates with you. And if you are already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back. Today we're gonna talk about life balance. And this is also an announcement of a 10-part series that you are going to be seeing on this channel. So over the next few weeks, we're gonna talk about each of those life areas in more detail. And there will also be a giveaway announcement in the next video, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. So let's unpack today's topic of life balance. First, let me clarify that when I say life balance, I don't mean that we are supposed to dedicate the same amount of time and effort in each area of our life. You are the one who is going to decide what area is your priority in a given stage of your life. Because not only do we have different personalities and different lifestyles, but we also have different desires of what we want our life to look like. Life balance is a personal thing, so you will have to create your own version, the one that's gonna make you feel happy and fulfilled. And one thing that we have to be aware of is even though not all of those life categories, life areas are gonna be our priorities, we cannot completely ignore them because they will start negatively affecting your life. So let me give you a quick description of each of those life areas, and then I'm gonna give you 2 examples of why this is all interconnected and why you cannot completely ignore them. So what are the 10 life areas? We have health, fitness, family, household, spiritual, financial, personal growth, career, side business, and community. So for the health category, it's going to be things like making sure that you get your regular physicals, that you're drinking enough water, that you're eating a balanced diet, that you are taking care of your mental health, and that you are practicing self-care. Now, just by saying eating a balanced diet, you can see how many possible options there are. For you, it might be a vegetarian diet. For somebody else, it might be a Mediterranean diet. And somebody else might have a dietary restrictions, and for them, they may not consume anything that has gluten in it. So there's many different options, and this is why life balance is going to be different for everybody, because each of those life categories is going to have those options. So you're going to have to see what's going to work for you, what's your priority, and how you want your life to look like. Fitness category is obviously going to be about moving your body. So it's going to be things like regular exercise, making sure that you take a break to stretch if you are sitting by the desk all day. It's going to be making sure that maybe you take family walks on a weekend, so you can start displaying the importance of fitness to your kids. Family life area is going to be basically making sure that you spend quality time with your family. So again, it's going to be different for all of us. It might be a movie night each Friday. It might be family dinners during the week. It might be Sunday fun day. Whatever that is, it's going to be obviously different for all of us, but those are the type of things that would fit into that life category. The household category is about management of your household. So things like organization, any types of routines, cleaning, and any types of house projects that you want to tackle. Spiritual life area is going to be about your spiritual health. This can include things like your relationship with God, a gratitude journal, meditation, or reading a Bible. The life area of personal growth is going to include things like reading personal development books, or reading to podcasts, or attending specific personal growth conferences, or things like journaling. The career life area is going to be your job, your work. So things like professional development, things like mentoring, things like advancing your career, your relationship with your coworkers. Pretty much anything that is work related. The next area is a side business or hobby. So this is basically to make sure that you are dedicating some time to doing the things that you love to do, whether that is your hobby or a side business. And specifically for the side business, you can include things like creating new content, attending business conferences, or developing a new product or a service. The financial life area is going to be anything that has to do with money. So things like budgeting, retirement plans, any financial priorities you are working on, as well as any charities that you are supporting financially. And lastly, the community life area is where you cultivate relationships with people, whether that is relationship with your friends or the members of your community. This will also include you doing any volunteer work as part of being a community member or a member of your church. So those are the 10 life areas. Like I said at the beginning, they all work together. Whatever life areas are your priority at this moment might not be the priority areas for me. This is why the life balance that you are going to be working towards is going to look completely different than the life balance that I have in mind. But what is important to realize that we cannot ignore any of those areas. And let me give you 2 examples to illustrate exactly what I'm talking about. So the first example is, let's imagine that you just started a side business. It is something that you are very passionate about. So you decide to take all kinds of training to learn the business side of things. You also attend all kinds of networking events to make those new connections with people who are either in your industry or potential customers. And you also invest a lot of money in the hardware and software to run your business smoothly. Now, those are all great things, don't get me wrong. However, if you are doing that and you completely ignore the financial life area, you might be setting up yourself for failure. If you did not sit down and budget it for all those activities up front, you might be spending way too much money than you actually have. You might find yourself with a huge credit card bill that you cannot afford to pay back. And you will find yourself under a lot of stress because here you are starting this in your side business and you are already starting on a negative. And the second example I am going to share with you is something that we can probably all relate to. Now, let's say your top priorities are your family, your personal growth, and your career. And the life area that you completely ignore is your health. Now, how long do you think you can keep going before you start seeing the negative side effects? It's probably not going to be that long, because if you completely don't pay any attention to, for example, to what you are consuming as far as food goes, and make those unhealthy food choices over and over again, very quickly it's gonna start negatively affecting your energy level. And then if you don't have enough energy, it's gonna affect the family time that you have together. It's gonna affect your career because you're just not gonna be as creative as you want to be. And it's gonna affect your personal growth because you are simply not going to be absorbing the information the same way. So this is what I mean when I say that everything is interconnected. You should concentrate on only a few areas at a time, but you cannot ignore the rest. You at least have to set some baseline in each of them. Now, are you gonna be able to address every single life area to the level that you actually want right away? Absolutely not. Because you cannot be the mom that's cooking everything from scratch and is the president of the PTO in both of the schools that your kids are attending. You cannot be the CEO of a company and then have a side business that is very profitable. And at the same time, you are training for a marathon and are leading volunteer events in your community. You cannot do all of those things at the same time. It's just not possible. Unless you are a robot, not feasible. You can do all of those things in different times of your life, but not all of them at the same time. It's just not possible. So let's just concentrate on what is a priority for us right now without ignoring the rest of the life areas and create that life balance that works for us, that is gonna create that life that we really want. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss the first part of the series next week, where we're gonna talk about how to stay healthy as a busy working mom. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.